Countdown to Kickoff is supported by Saltire Energy, the global market leader in specialist drilling equipment rental. And I'm delighted to announce that ABTV is now also supported by Craig International, game-changing procurement efficiency trusted by the global energy industry. With offices worldwide and more to come, Craig International continues to be a market leader. Tomorrow, the Dons travel to Celtic Park after a phenomenal showing in Greece, knowing going toe-to-toe with the champions is a task very much within their capabilities. We've done it once in Glasgow this season. There's absolutely no reason why we can't do it again. In terms of the table, so there's been some changes today. So we dropped down to 8th today. But as you can see, we have a number of games in hand now. So if we were to beat Celtic, we would only climb up just one place to go back into 7th. But take into consideration all those games in hand that we currently have above all the teams above us. Hi everybody, how you doing? A very warm welcome to Ali Beg ABTV this Saturday night. So this evening is a little bit of a combined show for you. So we're going to do a bit of a review and we're going to obviously look ahead to the Celtic game. So what I'm looking for you to do tonight is I've basically kept the floor open so that you can have your say on what was Aberdeen's unbelievably phenomenal battling performance in Greece on Thursday night. We'll take care of that first and then we'll start looking ahead to tomorrow's game at Celtic Park, 2:30 kickoff UK time. So come on, have your say, leave your comments, tell me what you thought of Thursday, and obviously if you want to leave your messages also about how you see the game going tomorrow against Celtic, then please do. Little bit of housekeeping. Please don't forget, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please press the old like button. And if you are watching for the very first time, you're absolutely more than welcome. I'm delighted to have you here. And if you would please consider subscribing to the channel, it won't cost you anything. It's just a click of a little button as we continue to edge closer to 3,000 subscribers. So we're about 63 away from that. And ideally, my goal is to try and get those figures up to 3,000 by the end of the year. So if we can manage that and get 3,000 by the end of the calendar year, I'd be absolutely thrilled, as you can imagine. So obviously Thursday night, what a performance against POAK. It was just a performance that I haven't seen for quite a while in an Aberdeen team, to show that sort of spirit, to show that sort of fighting quality. I was just absolutely blown away with it. Okay, I understand that we've now obviously gone out of the competition. So that's what the table currently looks like. But the fact that the Dons put on that type of performance on the night, I don't think many of us expected to see that type of performance against POAK, particularly when we went 2-1 behind, because I must admit, when we went 2-1 behind, I had the fear. I thought they would see the game out quite comfortably, and I couldn't see us getting back into the game, I have to be honest. This is what Barry had to say after the game. They call us Little Aberdeen, but we came here and gave them a bloody nose. I want the players to get credit for that because they've done it against a top team while we're in the middle of a very hard schedule. I am so proud of the players tonight and throughout the group stages so far. It's a new squad. We've not had much time together, but the players have performed in every single game. This is the match stats from that game. So we had 39% of possession. And this was quite interesting. I actually thought we had more than this, but we had 2 attempts at goal and obviously got 2 on target. We committed 9 fouls in the game. We didn't win any corners on the night. They committed 11 fouls, winning their 13 corners. Obviously, they dominated possession for long parts of the game. And obviously, you know, we were sort of, I don't think we were hanging on, but, you know, they threw the kitchen sink at us in the last sort of 10 minutes or so, which I fully expected them to do. But I just thought the way we defended calmly is again a sign of progression with this team. And I think we're seeing improvements in just about every single game that we're playing. I thought their equaliser, I thought Ryan could have done a little bit better not to lose possession as he did in the centre of midfield. And I thought Ruby could have been a lot stronger in his tackle just outside the box. But apart from that, I just thought across the back five as a whole, we were absolutely magnificent. And if we can just start taking performances like that, brave performances like that, into all of our upcoming games, I think we're going to be absolutely fine. I really do. And I think that back five, whenever we play that formation, back five, back three, however you want to call it, against obviously whoever we play against, is now working really, really well as a unit, be it as a 3 or be it as a 5. So yeah, I thought Connor was magnificent on Thursday night as well, very busy. And I think we've got to give special praise to Duke, because for me, come on, get out of it. That was his best performance this season in an Aberdeen shirt. And I'll come to Duke a little bit later in regards to whether he will start tomorrow's game or not. So let's get you on. Let's open the floor to you, because as I said, I just want to make it all about you guys tonight. So Kaiser came on first of all and said, "Come on, you Reds." Sugarland said, "What a performance against POAK. Such a shame we threw the game away at home with those ridiculous substitutions when we were 2-0 up. Yeah, it's all ifs and buts." Can't be bothered. I said, "Hi everyone. Was wondering what everyone thinks the priority in the January window is." Arcade John responded to that by saying quite simply, "Keeping Majowski." Great point, Arcade. Simon Royce here. Hi, Simon. Evening, dandies. What a great performance to think we should have had 4 points from 2 games against POAK. I do feel we're not getting VAR decisions. They don't even go to VAR for review. 3 points next. I must admit, just, you know, and I'll give you my thoughts on this. I was very much in the VAR camp before it became a thing. I championed it. I felt we desperately needed it. I felt that our officials desperately needed help, particularly in the Scottish game. But honestly, I think it's made a mockery of our game. And we've seen too many incidents now where it just, for me, it just doesn't work. The system for me is completely broken, and it continues to take the soul out of the game. We saw 2 decisions on Thursday night of blatant diving and cheating. There was one just before there where the referee awarded a penalty. Obviously it got overturned, where the young lad with the blonde hair went down, dived to get a penalty, cheated to try and get a penalty, and nothing was done. Then obviously after the referee looked at the VAR incident, he could quite clearly see that the boy has gone down theatrically, looking for a penalty without contact being anywhere near him. Okay, he overturns the penalty. That was decision number 1. But surely decision number 2 was to take action against the boy. And this is where I'm just completely lost with it all. I really am. Because if you overturn the penalty, then seeing that it was a blatant dive, then surely action has to be taken, right? So this is why now, for me, for God's sake, just get rid of the damn thing. Adam Cran has said, "Good evening, Ali. Hope you're slowly on the mend." I am, thank you, Adam. Feeling 100% better. Let's go, Aberdeen. It will be some game tomorrow afternoon in the VAR roller coaster. David Scott has said, how's everyone doing? Come on, the dandies. We're due one against Celtic. I've got the stats for you a little bit later, which don't make for very good reading. The Mad Ferret is here saying, "Good evening, dandies. A great performance in Greece on Thursday evening, which will hopefully give us a lift for the trip to Celtic tomorrow." Transmission GGB has said, if the Dons can play the right way, they can win against anyone in the league. Absolutely spot on, mate. Couldn't agree more. On our day, we can beat anybody. Adam Crana said, Thursday was a great game, just the defence needs more work. As I said at the top of the show, I think we're getting better game by game, and as a unit, as I said, between us playing in a 3 or a 5, I think we're getting there, Adam. But yes, it's a work in progress, let's put it that way. Simon Roy has said, Celtic could be deflated after being heavily beaten in Europe. They can, which means I think they'll be very much a wounded animal, so we need to be careful. Mark Smith has said, some strike by Duke, so much for all the naysayers. What a shift he put in. What a shift this lad put in on Thursday night. Scottish Susie has said, good evening, Dandies. Hope everyone is well. I see the BBC Scotland site praised us on the great performance on Thursday. Oh, my mistake. Their headline was Aberdeen out of Europe. Yeah, I thought the BBC were really negative on Thursday, which surprised me a little bit. Phil McLean. Hi, Phil. Good to see you back. Same performance on Sunday. Let's hope so, Phil. Transmission GGB came back to say Barry's tactics were spot on this time. Yep, I agree again. Neil Strachan has said, hi, Ali. Neil here. I'm very confident that Aberdeen will beat Celtic, and I think the result will be the same as the Rangers game, and the score will be 3-1. Absolutely fantastic on Thursday. Kaiser has said, in terms of the Conference League table, we should really be sitting on 7 points in that group. I absolutely agree, Kaiser. But as I said, all ifs and buts, mate. Mark Smith has said, bad time to face Celtic, though, after a 6-0 humbling, but hope springs eternal. Robert Cleverhoo. Hi, Robert. Duke's goal will hopefully give him a boost of confidence. I hope so too, mate. Rob Clark say, hi, Rob. How are you, fella? Good evening, Ali. And all I would say, that draw on Thursday was one of our best performances ever. One of the best away results in Europe. Kaiser's come back to say, Ruby back to charging out for that equaliser. Really poor. Yeah, again, just these little rushes of adrenaline, as Barry called it. But he's getting better, and I really think there's a player there. And I think he's not making as many mistakes as he first was. And he's certainly not the headless chicken that I thought he was sort of even 5-6 weeks ago. Sugarland says, tomorrow will be our 7th away fixture out of 11. We will have played Celtic twice and played away at Hearts and Rangers, with Rangers up next. That's our next home game. It's against Rangers. And it would have been exactly 1 month since we played a game at Pittodrie when that game comes around after the international break. We have 5 home games and 2 away games in December. The schedule in December is... It's frightening. When you look at it, if you go and have a quick look at the fixtures, the amount of games that we have to play in a certain amount of days is frightening. Kaiser said, I thought we defended the crosses poorly. Their second goal was a terrible goal to lose. Yeah, I take that point, because on the night, I actually said to my little boy, we had 4 players round their player, yet he was the only one that got his head to the ball. So it was a poor goal to lose. Kaiser said, a defensive midfielder must be a got in January. Phil McLean said, 100% agree on VAR, what I was saying before. Suze, good point. Now the VAR officials need help. It's getting more and more ironic, isn't it? Kaiser makes a good point. VAR isn't the problem. It's the refereeing that's the problem. It's the standard of refereeing, isn't it? Mark Smith has said, VAR worked for us at Hampden and the penalty was awarded prior to VAR intervention on Thursday. So let's not throw it out. You see, this is the great argument, Mark, isn't it? Because yes, it has worked in our favour, but it's also very much worked against us as well. And and it's not just for Aberdeen. It's for me, it's right across the board, and that's the issue that I have, because it's not just Aberdeen. It's right across the whole football fraternity. That I'm starting to have a problem with it personally. But, Mark, you make a great point. Gareth Hayes said, it's not VAR, it's the way it's been implemented. VAR has a place in football, but it needs to be a complete overhaul. Look to rugby's implementation. That's a great point, Gareth. Thank you for making that. Because, I'm not a big rugby fan. I've never really got into the game. I did for a wee while when I first moved to Singapore, and I worked on the 2007 World Cup and got right into it because I had no choice but to get right into it. And I was just blown away by the officiating in rugby, particularly the respect of the players towards the officials. So yes, Gareth, it's a great point, mate. Kaiser went on to say VAR went for us against Hibs and on Thursday, but apart from that, VAR hasn't went for us. And Kaiser expects Celtic to go up a gear against us. Yeah, I think they will as well, mate. Sousa said, issue is we aren't sure which Don's team will turn up on the day, but we have the ability. Can't be bothered. Great point. Have to say, the women's game showed the way with VAR at the World Cup. Fantastic point. So I've actually got the hoodie on that I got from Optus Sports when I was down there when I worked on the Women's World Cup. So if you didn't see it, so what basically happened was, and forgive me if I'm teaching you to suck eggs here, so bear with me. So what happened was, when a VAR decision was called for, the official went over, she had a look. She then came to the edge of the pitch, she put a microphone on, and she told the whole watching audience, be it the fans in the stadium or the people watching at home on television, what the decision was. And she made it very clear and precise. And it made a huge difference because all of a sudden we found ourselves, like, you know, when I was putting together the editorial analysis, all of a sudden a lot of that pressure was taken away from me because we're getting the clear and precise instructions and the decision that was reached. So thanks, mate. Can't be bothered. That's a fantastic point that you make. Malcolm Park's on saying, evening Ali, hope you're doing well. I'm doing absolutely fine, mate. Thank you. Transmission GGB goes on to feel, I feel it's the replay in slow motion that takes away the context of fouls, like the home game penalty at the end, and that second dive in the second game was worth a red card, never mind a yellow. Again, a great point. And again, it's the, you know, it's all about the freeze point, when they freeze a lot of the footage. And again, what you're doing is you're not looking at real-time in-context football. You're looking effectively at what is a photograph. So again, big, so many talking points. My God, we could be here for half an hour talking about this. Transmission GGB went on to say, these away fixtures are ridiculous. Can't be bothered said, who is this Rangers you speak of? The Rangers, the old one. No, the new one, the 2012 version. Right, so we'll come back to your points in just a moment. So what I want to do now is turn the old attention to the Celtic game. So let me start dragging it all in for you. So bear with me while I just drag in all the bits and pieces. Right, so I need Shinza, because Shinza's been having his say. Where is he? Where is Shinza? There's Shinza. Right, that's now him into the system. And I want to get the match stats in for you as well. So let me drag those in. Where are they? There we go. Right, so that's basically everything in. Okay, so first and foremost, let's deal with the probable lineup. So this is what I think will be the team that will play again, that will start against Celtic. So I've changed it up a bit from Thursday. I still think it will be the same five. So I still think we'll play that five across the back. Jack and Nicky wing backs as normal, with Jensen, Rubicic and Gartenmann in that sort of three. Okay, now this is where I've shaken it up a bit. So what I'm doing is I'm chucking Duke in, but to play sort of more on the left-hand side, because I felt his performance on Thursday merits a start against Celtic. So Connor's going to have to drop out. So I've brought Leighton in for that sort of creative, but you could argue the toss that number, you know, Leighton's position could be Dante, it could be Connor, but I've chucked in Leighton. I think the captain will start. I think Jamie will start on the right-hand side. And I do think Bojan will come back in. So the captain's had his say. He said, we can take confidence to Celtic. The big games are where we seem to step up and perform well. We're going to need another one, and we're going to need the whole squad to do it, so it's key. Now that we get our nutrition right, get our rest right, We'll be travelling again on Saturday, so it's important we recover and get ready to go again. So they basically travel down to Glasgow today. They'll stay in the hotel overnight, and then obviously they will make their way to the game. Right, so the match stats for you. Does it make good reading? Celtic remain unbeaten in their last 22 meetings with the Dons in all competitions since losing 1-0 at home on the final day of the 2017-18 season. The Dons have lost 33 of our last 35 league visits to Celtic, including our last 7 in a row since March 2019. After failing to win in 6 consecutive away matches in the league, we now have since won 2 of the last 3 on the road. Willie Collum is the referee and John Beaton is on VAR. So that's where we stand with the game tomorrow. So, look, Celtic have got injury issues. They're without Maeda, who's ruled out for up to 6 weeks. They're also missing Hatate and Abada. So they also have, well, they have injury issues. So it'll be interesting to see the team that Brendan Rodgers plays tomorrow. But look, we know what we're going to get tomorrow at Celtic Park. They're going to press us very, very high. They're going to swarm us very high up the pitch. I fully expect the way that I see the game going is how almost the final quarter of Thursday's game went, because they do like to press us very high up the pitch. And it's like what I said ahead of the POAK game, because I fully expected POAK to do that, which is exactly what they did do. But, you know, what I was afraid of by that happening was that we would revert to the hoofball, which thankfully we didn't overly do on Thursday night. And I thought that we played our way out of our that end of the pitch, sort of last defensive third or so. And I thought we did it absolutely magnificently. I thought we held the ball up really well, brought players into play, and countered when we needed to counter. And I think if we can do that against Celtic tomorrow, honestly, I really think we've got half a chance. If we play, I know I don't overly like to compare games too much, but if we can play like how we played against Rangers, contain Celtic for the first 20 minutes or so, frustrate them, because I do think their fans will, because of what happened on Thursday night, I think their fans will get a little bit edgy. I think they could be there for the taking, but it will be a completely different game, I think, because Celtic are of obviously a higher quality. So look, we just don't know. So let's get back to your points. So Kaiser said, did anyone notice Duke's run from their box back to our box to cover their counter-attack? It was the attack that McKenzie got in the last-ditch tackle. I saw that. He posted it on Instagram. That's the type of effort that I think is one of the reasons why he will merit a start tomorrow, Kaiser. If you haven't got a chance, go to his Instagram and see it, because he literally sprints the length of the pitch. Michael Robertson is here. Hi, Michael. I'm heading through tomorrow. This is our best chance for a while to take something from Celtic. They aren't the team that they were under Ange Postecoglou last season. I agree with that, mate. Malcolm Park has come back to say, I think we need to be patient with Ruby. There's a really good defender in there. He's still young and raw. Look at the young lad at the back for POAK, tipped for the top, yet some very rash tackles. Agree, Malcolm. Neil Strachan. Hi, Ali. I'm very confident about tomorrow, and I think we can beat them 3-1. Rick McBain has said, excellent point when we're talking about VAR and the lack of card. Had a great trip to Thessalonica and missed your post-match company. Don's togetherness and team spirit was tremendous. The fans on Thursday night, again, been banging on about it. You know, the travelling support this season, you know, I wrote about it in my column in the Herald, has been just mind-blowing. You guys are just absolutely phenomenal. And you know, what I really enjoy is going on socials and seeing all your posts on socials, and you know how you all come together and just enjoy each other's company and just have a great time. And I tip my hat to every single one of you. Transmission GGB in terms of the referees, the women referees going to the VAR video and then making the announcement. He's asking, why is that not done in the men's game? Who knows, mate? But it's about time we got it in there. Kaiser said, give Miovski the service he deserves tomorrow and he'll do plenty of damage to Celtic. Completely agree, mate. Andy B has said, hi Andy, Mad Bobby on Open All Mic saying Hearts will definitely be awarded a penalty when ref went to the monitor. No penalty. Hilarious opinions again. Was that today, Andy? I didn't see any of that, mate. Simon Roy said, agree to Rob Clark, was reading about Inter wanting to sign Ramadani, which is good for us. So Rob was on earlier, made the point about that Inter Milan are very, very interested in signing Hilbert Ramadani, which will be great for us because of obviously the sell-on clause. Susan's asked, why does VAR decisions take so long? Oh, God knows. Can't be bothered in terms of big money bids coming in. Lewis Ferguson, obviously been now linked with Juventus. Honestly, this guy's development since he's gone to Italy, yeah, absolutely superb. Delighted for the boy. Absolutely delighted for him. I think John Tate is predicting a 6-0 win for the Dons. Is that what you're doing, John? The Mad Ferret has said, John Beaton on VAR might work in our favour tomorrow. Alan Nicholas said, hi Alan, I hope I'm wrong, but at this moment in time, if we play Duke and Majowski together, we will struggle. We need another midfielder in place of Duke. I'm sorry, Duke. Yeah, this is why I put that team together 2 or 3 times, I've got to admit, before I sort of settled on it. Because initially I actually had Duke on the bench with Connor playing 4 in midfield with just Bojan playing up front. And then I was like, oh, but how can he drop him after such a phenomenal performance? So yeah, look, if Duke starts tomorrow, I do think he'll play sort of further left. But if he doesn't start tomorrow, as I said earlier, it will be a toss-up between Connor and Dante, I think. Who knows? What do I know? Jason Campbell, tongue-in-cheek, early red card for the Dons to settle the game tomorrow. Transmission GGB said, definitely have a chance tomorrow. I thought Celtic were poor at Pittodrie and we let them off the hook after equaliser. Can't be bothered said, Nottingham Forest and Brentford are also looking at Lewis Ferguson. Kaiser said, just as well Aberdeen didn't take Derek Ferguson's advice and sell him to Watford. Duncan Wright has said, at Celtic Park, you have to contain Celtic for the first 20 minutes. Exactly, mate. Then you start to frustrate them and do what we did at Ibrox and counter at speed. They don't like it up them. Absolutely spot on. Can't agree more. Can't be bothered. I said there's a rumour that there's a £15 million bid in January for Ferguson from Inter, apparently. Malcolm Parker said, VAR also let us down on Thursday. I felt their captain's late tackle on McGrath was a red stamping motion down on Jamie's ankle. I don't think they even looked at it. They didn't. Again, a very good point. It was a shocking tackle. So, yeah. Right, how long have we done? So, guys, look, we've done half an hour. So we'll call it a night. Thank you so much, as always, for jumping on and leaving your opinions tonight. It's always very much appreciated. You know, as I said, thoroughly enjoy your company, particularly at this moment in my life where, you know, your company means a great deal to me. So thank you so much. All that's left to say, as we always do at the end of the show ahead of a big game, is don't leave anything in that dressing room tomorrow, lads. As we always say, go out, match them toe for toe. Technically, they might have better players. So show them you have the heart to compete with them. Take Thursday's game. Take it all into consideration. How brave you were. How magnificent you were. How you answered many of those who didn't believe you could get a result in Greece. Everybody expected them to beat us comfortably, and we made it uncomfortable for them. Take all of that, wrap it up, and take it from that first whistle tomorrow, and you just never know what you can achieve. So I will see you again on Monday night for the review show. So have a fantastic Sunday. Take very good care of yourselves, and come on, you Reds. Stand free.